Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the Sporting160EN podcast. We're on episode 126, I believe. I am your host, Sam Fonseca, filling in for Danny, who's still in Portugal. Missing you, Danny. We need to have you back soon. But as always, we've got my co-host, Chris. How you doing?
I am doing great. Yeah, miss you, Danny. I know you're having a good time, so I'm not too worried about you. But yeah, another week of sport thing. I guess this is more like a half week of since the last time you heard from us. So it's more like a half week of sport thing. Still a decent amount to talk about. Got a result, back on track. Yeah, and another game in just 5 days. So, or 4 technically, I guess.
Yeah, we will hopefully have Steph joining us in a bit. He's not responded to our messages, but hopefully he will join us, and we'll just pretty much get straight into it now. We've got a few Twitter questions. Thank you everyone for asking them. I'll get Chris to answer some of them, and I'll save some for Steph as well. Let me just get the correct tab, which I believe is this one. Danny makes it seem so much easier than it actually is. Okay, speaking of the devil, Chris, thoughts on Amorim's thoughts on Amorim's policy when it comes to penalty takers, and miss you boys. We miss you too, Danny. But Chris, what do you think?
Is the policy just let anyone ask Jovan if they can? Because if that's the policy, then I guess it's cool as long as it works. I don't think Sporting's figured out who their penalty taker is since Bruno Fernandes left, which at this point is like a year and a half, 2 years now. Should probably get that sorted. So we can have some consistency, you know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he said in press conferences that he let Porro take it as well because Jovan missed the last one against Vizela. So I mean, it makes sense. But I mean, I would like to have a proper penalty taker. But let's go to the next question.
This policy is how you end up with the Simon Vukcevic situation. Because then anyone who's feeling themselves can just be like, "Yo, give me the ball. Come on, man. I'm feeling it. Like you missed the last one. Give me the ball."
Yeah.
You need to have a hierarchy, you know. You need to have a set, two or three set takers, you know.
Yeah, definitely. Lauren, who's in the chat, says, "How would you rate Matheus Rice's performances versus Ajax Estoril out of 10?" We have been quite mean about Matheus Rice in all honesty, but I think he's definitely improved. I won't really count the Ajax game because he did get smacked. But what do you think of his performance against Estoril?
You're just gonna discard his man of the match performance like that?
I mean, we did
because it doesn't suit the agenda. Nah, I mean, in all honesty, he was mediocre at best and slightly. In the Estoril game, I thought he was above his average. I guess, are we rating him similar to Paulinho, how we evaluate Paulinho on the sliding scale of his own performances, not the performances of what we would expect a 13 million euro signing to be? It's how did he play in comparison to his other games? Yeah. If we're going by that, then I think he was slightly above average against Estoril. Out of 10, I'll give him a 5.
Is that his best game in a Sporting shirt, do you think?
It's top 3 for sure.
I mean, there's not many that comes to mind, unfortunately. Speaking of Paulinho, Lauren also asked, how impressed have you been with Paulinho in the last couple of games? For me, his performances have looked a lot more positive. He was better in front of goal. We'll get into the game against Estoril later, but I think he was absolutely fantastic. You know, just very unlucky at points. You know, Estoril, I think, cleared 3 times off the line and Paulinho hit the post. If we're talking about just Paulinho in general, not the Paulinho games, how would you rate it? How would you rate his performance against Estoril, and what do you think about him, especially this season? Do you think he's turning a corner, or is it going to be same old, same old?
I thought this game was good too, and I thought the Ajax. I think he's had 2 of his better games back to back. So yeah, I guess we can only hope that he keeps staying in this rhythm and just gets a bit luckier. Because yeah, he could have easily had 2 goals. I think in this game, he could have easily had 2 goals against Ajax. I mean, he's in better form than he has been for sure. And let's hope he continues to improve. Sees the ball hit the net a couple times, that confidence will only go up, you know.
Yeah, definitely. I thought he was going to take the penalty yesterday. I can't say I've seen him take penalties for Braga or anywhere else, but I thought it would be nice for the confidence. But in the day Porro scored, Paulinho might have missed. You never know.
That would have been devastating. All the confidence we've built up in the last 2 games would have been immediately destroyed and then some,
Depends how badly the penalty is missed. Like, imagine if he just like skied it over the bar, or like tried to go for a Panenka and just got saved.
Basically, and then it'd be like he missed, and if we didn't get the result too, it'd be like really bad.
Yeah. Richard Neves, credit for the thumbnail. Shout out to Richard. Asked how noticeable with the absence of Pote and Inacio. He didn't get to watch the game, so just wanted some insight. I'll take this one quickly. I think we missed Pot. As much as we bash some of his performances sometimes, when we need a goal, we've always got Pot to rely on. And in a way, that does sort of need to change when he's not there. So we need to sort of have a better game plan than that. But when you're taking out someone of Pot's quality, it's obviously going to be a difficult game because he can literally score from anywhere on the pitch. And the same for Inacio, he's like a rocket at the defense, and I think he's very good with Coates and Vidal as well. Chris, what do you think about Pote and Inacio? Are we missing them too much, or do you think it's just natural?
No, I definitely feel like we're missing Pot probably more, to be honest. Inacio missed a lot, but he missed less in this one because we had Coates back. So Coates is obviously the main anchor, and the rest just provide support. Honestly, you could maybe even chalk up Matthias Reis looking a little bit better than normal because Coates was there. I'm not sure. I just think Coates helps everybody back there and is always like a last line of defense. Neto, who we shit on, was catastrophic against Ajax. Actually didn't look bad against or he looked better, and Coates came in a couple times. He honestly could have like maybe seen a yellow or a red maybe for that tackle in the first half. Probably a yellow. I don't think he's got a card at all. Yeah. But yeah, I think that the back line in general was far less shambolic, but that's obviously because slightly lesser opposition for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Let's go on to the next question. She's the last question from Felipe. He says, Paulinho seems to be trying harder in the last 2 games. Guess that's a bit of luck. In games like this, Estoril, when we are winning only for 1 goal, we need to hold the ball more. And just 2 words for my boy Porro, world class. Chris, Pedro Porro, obviously, 8.5 million release clause or term like loan clause. I mean, looking like a bargain at this point.
Yeah, definitely. That's the kind of deal. I think it's like a Mary Demirel deal waiting to happen, where they're gonna activate that clause and then they're immediately gonna flip for like 3x the profit because will Sporting be able to keep him next season? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, especially if he gets like calls for national teams.
Yeah. He's already on the radar too. He already got his first call with the Sporting shirt. But at the same time, it's like Grimaldo's been linked on like 30 million euro moves out of Benfica for like 4 years straight. It just never happened. So maybe the market's just not there for Portuguese league outside backs for that much. I mean, Nuno Mendes obviously like kind of changed that, but like he's still more of like he's 3 years younger, obviously. I'd say Porro's more of a completed prospect than Nuno Mendes is at this point.
Yeah, definitely. I do see Pedro Porro probably being flipped next season. If there was that rumor of like a buyback clause for City, it's never been confirmed or denied from Sporting in that matter, or City in that matter. So I mean, hopefully that clause doesn't exist. But it wouldn't surprise me if it does, just considering how cheap.
Or they might just do it anyways, like the Nemanja. Like, did Man U have a buyback clause on Nemanja Matic, or did they just buy him again, like from Benfica?
It was.
I'm sure they just bought him.
I think. Yeah, because they gave him to Chelsea, gave him to Benfica for David Luiz and a few million, I think, and then I think they have had a buyback clause or like a percentage of future transfer or something like that. So it could turn out to be one of those. To be fair, not much to. Thank you for all the questions, but not much else to get on to apart from the game. Sporting defeating Estoril 1-0 away from home. The goal coming from Pedro Porro off a penalty, as we mentioned before. I will share the lineup on your screen in just 2 seconds. Cool. So we have got Adan, Neto, Coates, Matheus Reis, Pedro Porro, Ruben Vinagre, Matheus Nunes, João Palhinha, Pablo Sarabia, Nuno Santos, and Paulinho, Jovan came on, so did Thiago Thomas and Esgaio. Goal point gave Paulinho man of the match. Chris, what were your thoughts on overall game? Do you agree with some of these or disagree with some of these ratings? Let me know.
Yeah, so I guess this game was kind of frustrating. Like it could have been worse, right? Because Estoril definitely had a great chance in the first half, and Adan made a very good double save. Estoril definitely, like, I don't think deserved a goal in the first half, but it would have been very frustrating if that did go in. On the contrary, like Sporting also had a bunch of very good chances in the first half. There was like 3 like great saves by the Estoril keeper, like right on the line, and one of them was a defender, actually, I think. Paulinho unlucky to not score. There was, I'm trying to think of the other first half chances. I just remember there was like a bunch, like at least like 3 or 4 very, very good scoring opportunities. And then the second half was kind of much of the same up until like after the Sporting goal. Obviously, the last like 20 minutes, I would say, was when the momentum shift as Estoril started to just try to seek out a result again, because they were now losing it. So which is kind of natural. I think that the standout performances, for me at least, were definitely Paulinho, like another just destroyer game for him. The Paulinho banger, so close.
So close.
He ripped it, and it was literally, if that ball goes anywhere else, it's in. Because the goal, it came on him so fast, he didn't have time to even react to it, and it just like hit him in the chest. It honestly still could have gone in, like if it just hit his body differently.
And then the Paulinho follow-up.
Yeah, then the Paulinho. We won't talk about the Paulinho follow-up. I low-key thought it was Jovan who was the one who shot it, so I'll just pretend like it was Jovan. Yeah, great. Another, the classic Paulinho game. Poro obviously scored the PK, stepped up. But I mean, outside of that, I thought he had another, very, very solid game. He's a great, offensive option for Sporting, and yeah, like we just mentioned like 5 minutes ago, he's a bargain at his buyout clause, and we'd be blessed to keep him for another season after this one. And then the back line, Adan was called on against Ajax, but really couldn't do much about anything. The game before that didn't really have to do anything against Porto, except hit the ball out of the back of the net the one time. And then this one, he made a couple of good saves. So Adan back on the rise again. And Coates raised Neto. I have honestly no complaints about any of those 3. Vinag with another, pretty mediocre game where he gets subbed. Impossible for him to play 90 minutes, which is kind of alarming at this point. Because he's literally like 7 games, 7 subs for an outside back. Not that normal. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I guess we'll get into Kasu later.
Yeah, I'm just gonna quickly. I agree with everything you said. I felt bad for the Danny Fernandez, the Estoril keeper, because I thought he had a really fantastic game up until the sort of mistake to lead to the penalty. And it definitely was a penalty, but you could tell like he did go to play the ball, and I think that's why it wasn't given as a red, as a lot of people thought it should be. But yeah, I felt bad for him, but at the end of the day, those things happen. Good to see our boy Chico Gerards come on, even though he did try and kick Paulinho and try to injure him, which wasn't very nice. But
yeah, Chico Gerards is officially a villain. I think his beef is probably more with this current administration of Sporting than it is with the club in general. And I definitely think it's the kind of relationship where maybe in like 5 years, when there's a new president or something, he comes back and like, says what happened. So I wouldn't cast him aside completely, but he's definitely a villain right now. I think he's on the villain side for a while.
I saw some people like say that like Paulinho instigated it, because there was that clip that was sent into our group chat where it was literally just Paulinho pushing him, not the kick before. And I was like, why are people trying to push this agenda? Like
Paulinho's not the same. He's not the guy that would just go after a random dude for no reason. Like,
yeah,
why would he do that?
And when you look at it, like, I mean, I did see people say like red card, but that is an act of aggression, really.
It's not a red. It's not enough for red, but it's probably a yellow. You can't do that. You can't just.
Paulinho sells it. If Paulinho sells it, then it might have VAR might.
This is a little cheeky trip for no reason.
Yeah. But in terms of the game, I'm looking at Sarabia's rating, and I feel like that's quite unfair. I thought he played really well, actually. Some of the balls that he gave to the teammates were just absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, it still feels like he has so much more to give, you know.
I saw someone call him Jesse 2.0, and I was like,
not that bad yet. Come on,
nowhere
harsh. Near. No one. I mean, yeah, dude. Has they put in like one successful cross in his entire career?
Yeah. he did score what, twice? Once?
Once, yeah, when he tried to dribble the goalie, took a weird touch, it deflected off the goalie, it went right back to him, and then he scored on an open net in like a League Cup game to make it like 3-0.
Yeah, I remember. I'm just trying to think. Paulinho, obviously fantastic, and he shows a lot of the heart that we like to see. It reminds me of just someone who's like just not like, I know obviously footballers play for the money at the end of the day, but like after every challenge of like the last 20 minutes, he's like grabbing the badge, putting it to it, like getting the fans to cheer him on. And it's just like so refreshing to see, especially like the last couple of years where we just had like no players that would fight for the badge and just all walk around. But a great performance, but I thought Estoril were quality as well. It's definitely, you could see why they were in second place and be here for such a long time. We mentioned Rui Font last podcast, managed to come on, but didn't do anything, which probably surprises no one. But we had a brief cameo from Thiago Tomas. It didn't really do much to get a rating, but every time he comes on, I'm just like, why? But I was disappointed not to see Danny Bragança as well, especially against his old team in Estoril. I thought Matheus Nunes could have dealt with some rest. He didn't have the best game by his standards. So I would have liked to see that. But at the end of the day, a win's a win. And Porro obviously stepping up to get the penalty is just sort of icing on the cake. We'll get on to the first case. Let me just get it. Was the penalty first? The penalty was the first one, wasn't it? So let's get that up. So people are saying that this should have been retaken or shouldn't have counted or something. Believe it or not, the original post comes from a Benfica fan. Here you see Porro taking the penalty. We've got Nuno Santos down here. I think that's Jovan on that side and Paulinho on the other side, maybe Sarabia on the other side. Chris, let me know your thoughts on the penalty. What do you think should have happened? It's
one of these rules where the stringency, or I don't even know if that's the right word. I'll go with strictness instead because I know that'll work more. The strictness of this rule enforcement is so random. I don't know if any of you guys watched the Women's World Cup, but there was like every PK had to get retaken because the goalie would be like this far off the line. And so it was just like every single time it would happen. Sometimes twice, the attacker would miss twice and they'd retake it. MLS, same thing. Sometimes they'll just so randomly strictly enforce that goalkeeper stepping on the foot rule. But the one thing is, like, you very rarely see them enforce the running into the box rule. It's one of the things where, like, on almost every PK, it happens to some degree, right? Whether it's just one step in, it's one guy's like his body's in. Like, if you look at the freeze frame of every PK, I bet like 75 or more % of them have at least one player doing something, even if it's by it's like the offsides, right? Even if it's a centimeter, right? He's still like in the wrong, right? Technically. Yeah. So I don't want to get into a world where like they're enforcing the step on the line for the goalie by like 1 centimeter, where they're enforcing offsides by 1 centimeter, when they're enforcing running into the box by like 1 centimeter. That's when we start doing that consistently, we're going to completely ruin the game. But on the flip side, it's like when you have a situation this egregious, like Nuno Santos is so far into the box, he's almost at the ref. Like the ref's vision is almost obstructed by Nuno Santos running in. So in my opinion, I think this one should have probably been retaken because it's pretty bad, and you can rewatch the clip in real time. And it just does feel wrong. And obviously the Estoril players are like technically breaking the rule too, but I think it's because the Sporting players are further ahead,
Yeah, I mean, it's like you said, how does like the referee not like look to his right and just see Nuno Santos like coming up, like even in his like peripheral vision?
Yeah.
Or even like he's looking straight ahead, he could probably see, I don't know if it's Paulinho or Sarabia.
He doesn't, and the thing is he doesn't even technically have to see it. He just has to be the guy upstairs,
Yeah. But I don't know, because we saw it in the Porto game as well. I don't have the picture to hand, unfortunately, but pretty much the same thing. But I don't really care about this rule in general. Let me just grab Mr. Steph. Hello. How are you?
Better. I had a water leak.
Oh man.
Yeah. So we thought it was the one of the pipes. So I made a big hole in my basement ceiling, and then my wife and I were like desperate, like water all over the fucking place. And then I was like, well, the water's coming from the first floor, and it was the hose from the fridge, from the ice maker that burst it, and then the water was leaking from the first floor to the basement. But my basement looks like a mess now. So.
Did you fix the leak though? At least you turned it off.
Yeah, we turned it off. It has a little twist, and then I just went to Lowe's. I bought that new hose, replaced it. Now it's fine. But we thought it was something else. We thought it was the AC. We thought it was a PVC pipe, but it was just the goddamn hose from the fridge.
They're doing some handyman activities out here.
Up.
Glad to hear it's at least temporarily resolved. Definitely not fully resolved.
My father's coming from Portugal, and I already told him. He said, "Don't worry about it. We'll fix the ceiling together."
Sorry to throw you right into it, Steph, but I've got the ratings here. I just wanted to know if you can. Obviously, it's quite a stressful time for you now, but if you have any thoughts on the game, just go ahead.
Oh, about yesterday's game, I think it was an awesome performance after the debacle against Ajax that we lost 5-1, and the composure was definitely something I was very impressed with, and Mourinho learned from his mistakes and the team as well. I think our weakness it will be the whole season, and we will be able to fix it by January. The striker position. We need a striker ASAP. Paulinho is good as a number 9, I guess, but as a striker, he's not what we need. He doesn't score goals, and we could say it's bad luck. But for how many more games are we going to say that? So he has had so many chances to score, and he's not scoring, and he's putting the team in a very tough position. You see Benfica today won 3-1. Porto won 5-0. We could have gotten Tony Martinez. No, he went to Porto. They had already a great striker, Taremi, and Benfica is well equipped with strikers as well. We have Paulinho, but that's too short. And Tiago Tomás is not the striker we're looking for. But the whole game yesterday was a great performance by everybody, including Paulinho. But we need immediately 911, like ASAP, a striker.
Yeah. There's also just the penalty that me and Chris were just looking at. So we both agreed that it was a penalty should have been given to Sporting. But what did you think on this penalty? Like all the people in the box, did you think the penalty should have been retaken? Do you think anything else should have happened? What do you think?
Well, okay. I'm gonna be totally honest. For this penalty to be retaken, it means all the other penalties will have to be retaken. Because every PK is like this one. It's not only the Sporting Estoril PK, it's every PK. So there's only one solution. Either the league makes a strong statement and says, we're going to start showing yellow cards. And in this case, would have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 yellow cards. So, or they just leave it the way it is. I would make the case that if a Sporting missed a PK and on a rebound we score, then cancel the goal. I would agree with that because you're already inside the box. But if you score like we did, like Porto did, leave it alone, just move on. And the PK was taken. He scored the PK. Good.
Here's something that I just thought of. Do you think it was allowed to go because it was both Sporting and Estoril players that were in the box, as opposed to if it was being only Sporting players that were in the box? Maybe it's a different story.
Yeah, of course, indeed. But either way, if the league wants to fix this problem, they'll have to brief all the teams.
Yeah, they would have to make a case out to say that they were going to start enforcing it, and then just start enforcing it like offsides. We're drawing lines. It's if you're a centimeter in the box, it doesn't count.
Even if you have to draw a different line, a line away from the box, and say, hey, when you take a PK, you have to be 10 yards away from the box. If you have to go to those extremes, there's solutions out there if you really want to brainstorm and think about it. The most logical one would be draw a line like you draw for the free kicks, 10 yards away from the box, and tell the players you're not allowed to go beyond this line. And maybe that would be a solution. I just thought about it.
I think that the argument against that would be it gives an unfair advantage to the PK taker rebounding it. In case they get a rebound, like they'll have more time, Of
course. Yeah, of course. Indeed. I agree with you 100%. I don't know how to fix this problem. I don't think it's fixable.
It's tough. Yeah.
It's tough. I mean, I would cancel the goal only if it's on the rebound and everyone's inside the box. If I'm the referee, I would say it's a no goal because everyone violated the inside the box. But then that would penalize Sporting as well.
Yeah. There's one more case. We spoke about it earlier in the group chat, but it was the kick from Geraldes to Paulinho. I've got a picture of a video, so hopefully they don't copyright me. If you look in the top left here, you see like Chico kick out Paulinho, nowhere near the ball. Chris, we spoke about it earlier. Do you think anything else should have come of it, or do you think a yellow card for both players was justified?
Yeah. I don't think it should have been more. And yeah, I mean, Paulinho did shove him, so I guess there's action on both sides. So yeah, I think it's just an equal yellow and yellow. Yeah.
Steph, are you of the same opinion, or do you think it should have been a bit harsher to Chico Geraldes?
I mean, honestly, this should have been a red card because he's not even playing the ball. The ball is not even there. He's playing the player. But then we go back to the pepper.
But is it violent misconduct, though? It just seems like, like shithousing misconduct.
He's not playing ball. So
no, he's not playing the ball. He doesn't.
If Paulinho sells it like a.
He's really injured. He's rolling around, grabbing his legs, screaming. Yeah.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about solely the action of Geraldes. If you stick to the action itself, if you go by the law itself, he did it intentionally. He was not playing ball. Then it should have been a red card. It's that simple, really. But then you go back to Pep and Quats. You punch him in the face. Nothing happened, and the league laughed about it. And they said, "Vamos arquivar esta merda and move on." So to me, I think the Portuguese soccer or football, at this point, they deserve to be called soccer. Because it's very shitty in Portugal. Even with VAR, we can even manage to resolve some of the biggest issues. We had a clear PK with Pep and Quats. He got punched in the face. I mean, like we say in America, a picture speaks 1,000 words. What else do you need? Only shit. And the VAR didn't do anything about that. So this compared to Pep against Quats, it's like Chris said, it's really nothing. I mean, he got punched in the face, and he just kicked him a little bit. So I guess a yellow card would have been fine. But me, I would have shown a red card if I was a referee.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair enough. Me and Chris were talking about earlier. Obviously, Chico Geraldes was someone who's loved throughout the Sporting, and when he was here, very illiterate, very, very nice man by all accounts. Do you think this makes him a bit more a villain, or do you just think it was just like a moment of madness?
I think it's. I understand he's bitter, but he can only be better with himself. He was given enough chances by different coaches, in Sporting. It was not only Amorim; it was several coaches. So if he's bitter, he should be reflecting upon himself, not blaming others for his poor performances at Sporting. Sporting treating him nicely. He made the plays he is today If it wasn't for Sporting, it would be nothing. He wouldn't even be playing for Estoril. So he should be a bit more grateful. But if he's bitter, I don't know. Maybe he should drink a couple Superbocs.
Yeah. On that note, I'm just going to ask you for your man of the matches. Goal point given to Palhinha. The actual game man of the match got given to Palhinha. Steph, who do you think should have got man of the match?
I like Palhinha, of course, without a doubt, but Porro, definitely. I mean, Porro has shown that he actually understands more about the DNA or ADN, like we say in Portugal, of Sporting than Geraldo's, for example. So he's a Spaniard, and he's been at the club for the second year. But you could see he feels the club, he loves the club, and I really like his attitude in every game he plays with the green and white. I think he's one of those players that I'm glad Sporting is going to buy him from Manchester City. And it'll be a good investment. I mean, if we do sell him, we're going to sell him for the double. So yeah, Porro, definitely. Besides Palhinha, of course.
Chris, who was your man of the match?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Palhinha. He was immense. Similar passion to Porro. I mean, I'd say argue those are probably the two guys who feel the club the most right now. Yeah, I'll go Palhinha.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm gonna.
That was my wife running away. She's being fictitious. So.
I'm gonna go joint man of the match. Palhinha is definitely one. I'm gonna go with Paulinho. I feel like, I know he's had a bit of stick from us recently, including myself, but I feel like he had a good game, pressing. He obviously won the penalty for us, which technically was a mistake from the keeper, but you know, he has to be in those positions. Very unlucky to have like 4 balls cleared off the line, hit the post at one point, and I think he's due a nice moment, and I think without him we probably would have drawn that game. So I'll give it to both Paulinho and Paulinho. Just before we get on to our other topics today, just going to quickly show you the league table at the moment. I know it's early days still, but we've got Benfica at top with 18, Porto Sporting second and third respectively. Steph, is there anything to worry about currently? You can look at the goal difference and you see Benfica have a lot more than we do, and even Porto have more than we do. Should we be concerned right now?
No, not really. I mean, we played against Braga at Braga. We played it against Porto at home. We did the bare minimum, which was to tie the game. And we played at Famalicão. So Benfica didn't have really any tough games yet. But they're playing ball. Yeah, they're playing well. I mean, you got to give them credit. I'm not discrediting how Benfica is playing because, and you know.
Benfica! The best! I love you, Mortinho. My Benfica.
Out of context, Sporting160.
I know. Oh, my God. But, I mean, yeah. So, and Porto is bowling too. They're playing well, and this play at Atletico de Madrid against one of the best teams in Spain. So we have to be competitive to be at the same level as those two clubs. Yeah, but I'm not concerned at all, though. No, not at all. I want to see how they play against Braga. We got lucky in a sense because Braga wasn't fully in rhythm, and now they're regaining rhythm, and Porto as well. So let's see how Benfica behaves in the tough games ahead. But so far, they've been playing well, and they pulled a tie also in the Champions League, which is very important for them.
Yeah, definitely. Chris, you know, Benfica and Porto both winning their last 2 games by quite a big margin of goals. We're not scoring as much as them too. Are you worried about anything at the moment? Or is it just that, like Steph said, games against Porto, games against Braga, Benfica really have had no one difficult? What do you think?
Yeah, I'd say I'm more concerned with us more than them. I feel like last year I felt like it was like, it was ours to lose. We were just churning results, and it was like it's on us. We have the squad. We have the better squad. Like, full stop. And we're just churning results. Like, this is not going to be won because they outdo it. It's going to be won because we choke it away. This year I feel like they've improved. We have stayed about the same, but you could argue that we were like riding through like statistical inconsistencies last year, and it feels like, if anything, like they're balancing out more a little bit this year. So I just fear more, the depth of our squad in certain areas. Are we going to pick up, two or three more draws than we did in the first round last year? Like, I think staying this distance away from the top is fine for now, but if it stretches any further than this, it's starting to be like, you don't like 7 points behind it feels like a lot, so we have to just keep getting results. And yeah, like Steph says, hope that Benfica gets tested more in some of their upcoming games. And it'd also be nice if the VAR called a PK against them too. That would help greatly.
Yeah, especially tonight. But yeah, that's pretty much all we have for this Estoril game. Chris, I know you wanted to mention some things with Loja Verde and any other things. So the floor is yours if you want to take over.
Yeah, I guess just wanted to tie up like some loose ends of some random topics over the past week or so. I don't have much to say about the Relatório and Contas, other than just like the top line findings, which are just like basically all the trends that we've talked about over the years on the show, just continued, like debts rising, debts to agents rising, debt to gesture food, just looks like this. I mean, like the trend, it's just basically the trend lines continue. Debt to lenders, they're going to have a vote in the next 2 weeks about another 50 million euro loan. They're going to have to pay back that 50 million loan from last year, I think in December. So yeah, I mean, the club's really not in like the greatest financial situation. It is what it is. All three of the top clubs in Portugal find themselves in a similar financial situation right now. Each of them has like their moments where it's like, oh, we have to pay this back. So like our situation seems like more red alert right now. Sporting had like a lull last year. Felt like there was really no pressure as far as like debts being called. No one really cared about like the deals that were being done, like the passes that were being negotiated and stuff. I feel like it was basically just kick the can down the road. And eventually some of that stuff is going to come to a head. I don't know when, and I don't know what it's going to look like, but it's a situation that they cannot avoid just talking about permanently. Elections, we briefly talked about on last pod or 2 pods ago, the elections. The part of me that feels like none of this matters is because there's no alternative. Like, and even if there was, it's going to be some candidate that runs in the last couple months and is going to get like 10%, right? It doesn't even matter. So that's why like opposition to any of this stuff, like voicing vocal opposition, I mean, it's good to point stuff out and it's good for the fan base to be informed, especially the Sauciers, obviously. But like, it just feels like there's so little we can even do. And even the rights that we have as Sauciers to do certain things, it feels like they just don't give a shit anyways, and they just are going to steamroll us. Rosario Elves is just going to steamroll us, and we are just kind of helplessly watching and hoping that like our club isn't destroyed. So basically, that's how I feel about that, and I just wanted to touch on that. The other random note is the grass at Alvalade, which is a big problem because it's so early. I've recently been looking into this. So Sporting, Benfica, and Porto all had the same agency that took care of their grass. Up until last year or this year, Sporting switched. And now our field is dog shit. And we've played like 4 games on it. Against Ajax, there's a viral image of Neto picking up a piece of grass that's like as wide as my hands. It's a hole that's like, like 2 feet deep. It's insane. I mean, and then if you like look at certain areas near the goal, it's all beat up. I don't know what the reason for switching agencies was. I don't know if they legitimately thought this new agency was better, if they got a better deal, if it's a kickback because he like is buddies with the guy who owns this grass agency. I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, it's a big fucking problem because it's so early into the season. The Liga Portugal has kind of been dropping the hammer this season on dog shit grass fields. Estoril and Ferenc have already had their stadiums closed in the first like 6 games of the season. If Alvalade got bad enough, would the league have the nuts to actually close Alvalade? That would be crazy. Are they going to have to do a mid-season field swap, which is like hella expensive? If you didn't know, they already switched the field. They'd like to do it like once every 5 years. They did it this year, and if they already have to do it again, like remember the Alvalade looked like a beach this summer, and they were doing the green chairs. Like they literally just changed the grass,
Yeah,
and it's already fucked. So that's unacceptable. I don't know if any of you guys have anything to say about that.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. But I don't know if it was like a cost-cutting thing or better deal somewhere else. But I mean, you could tell. Like, I mean, even like some of the Ajax fans that we've come across on Twitter have mentioned that the pitch was bad. I mean, you sort of do get used to bad pitches in Portugal, but like, I mean, look at last year. Nacional de Madeira was like literally a swamp at points, especially when we went there. But I mean, when you look at Ajax's stadium and look at some of the stadiums in the Eredivisie, I mean, the grass is fine and like the stadiums are full. And I don't know. It seems like maybe a cost kind of thing, but I just want to say I love that picture of Lewis Neto picking up the grass. Something about it just absolutely makes me laugh. But yeah, Steph, do you have any thoughts on the grass?
it's a shame because every time you replace the grass, and like Chris said, it wasn't too long ago. It was just this summer. I would ask for a refund, if anything, because it's expensive.
Yeah, those bastards owe us like €1 million for that.
Because at the same time, like Chris said, when they were replacing those ugly chairs with the green ones, you saw big tractors removing the old grass and doing whatever they needed to do to input the new one. And this is not good. I mean, if you have to pay a little bit more and get it done by French or English farmers, might as well, because whoever they hired, they did a shitty job.
Yeah, spot on. I'm just gonna talk about this one as well. We've talked about it a bit and like a bit off camera as well, but like I think we're all at the same point in that Sporting have botched this kit launch with Nike massively. Still no patches on Loja Verde Champions League or the Portuguese symbol in the middle. They still got the Champions one, but like I mean, I don't know, Chris. How can it happen, especially with like a global brand like Nike, and you know they also want to make a good impression. How do they mess up a kit launch so bad? And do you think they still have time to sort of salvage it?
Yeah, I definitely think that some of the problem is Nike and Sporting can't control it, but definitely some of the problem is also Sporting's incompetence with the website. Like obviously not being able to order Champions League badges and an Escudo patch when you can do it in person it's really stupid, it's especially frustrating for fans who maybe if I lived in Porto, it's inconvenient to go to Lisbon, and maybe I'm not going to get to Lisbon for 2 months, so I want the shirt, but I'll just get it in 2 months. Like, I don't know if I'm ever going to get this shirt, I've kind of accepted that I probably won't, and I'll just wind up getting the new Champions kit with the gold patch on it because that's all they have if this even stays in stock long enough. The thing that's on screen right now, they like restocked the home kit, which was basically sold out. But instead of like restocking it, they created like a new like link for it. And now I just literally looked an hour before we started. 2 of the 5 sizes on that are sold out. Medium and large, which is probably the 2 most popular sizes, sold out again on the home kit. So the home kit was restocked for like 3 days. So if you're waiting for that, you literally missed your window because you had like 72 hours on that, unless you're a bigger size, or like the small, which I guess is an XS, which very few people wear that because the home kit's sizing up. So yeah, if you wear an XS, you are in luck. But yeah, I mean, it's incredibly frustrating. I mean, my personal anecdote, like the patches I got on my shorts are so crooked. You know, it's like obnoxiously crooked. It's not like it's off by like a centimeter. It's off by like a bunch. You know, and the patches like just ironed on so crookedly. It's whatever. I still wear them all the time. You know, I like my Nike shorts, but like, yeah, it's just the little things, man. It seems like Sporting is constantly just fucking up every single like little thing that there is to possibly fuck up, you know?
Yeah. Steph, I don't know how much you've looked into it, but there's things like Champions League patches and, you know, the patches we mentioned that aren't on Lushvade. Is that something that affects you, or are you just okay just getting like normal shirts? But just let me know your thoughts on it.
No, I feel that Sporting does not make money. That's the bottom line, because it's funny that you mentioning this. I went to the Sporting website, and I was trying to go into Loja Verde, and I couldn't. I was like, what the fuck? So I couldn't do it. And then I went to Google, and I randomly put Sporting Loja, and then I saw Beta Sporting Loja Verde. And then I click on that link. I'm like, okay, it's not.
Wait. So the link on the main website links you to the old store still, which is down. That is so stupid.
That's such like amateurs.
Yeah, it's.
Now I would fire the person that's in charge of keeping up with the Sporting official website, because even on Twitter, one of our fans said, "Hey, do you guys have the link for Loja Verde?" And I did tweet it to him. And he's like, "Yeah, but the one on the official page is not up to speed." I'm like, "You're correct. It's not up to speed."
And what you're saying, like, they're still using the beta version. Like, they never, like, completed the website, I think. You know?
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
But so, like, the new Loja Verde is still, like, half launched, but live. You know, it's idiotic, you know?
Idiotic, completely. So a couple of things caught my attention. Like Sam said, I just bought my official jersey, which was with the trophy in the middle, the golden trophy.
Yeah.
That was 6 additional euros. If they had the Champions League badges available, I would have bought it too, together. But they were not available, like Sam said. And to me, it was like, what the fuck? But my father's coming this Friday. So I'm like, I better buy the T-shirt now, because I refuse to pay for shipping. It's way too expensive.
€40 shipping is unacceptable. It used to be 20. Now it's 40. Both are unacceptable. 40 is extremely unacceptable.
Extremely. So I bought the jersey with the Champions badge, which was altogether $102 in dollars when you convert into euros to dollars. Which I was like, okay, whatever. I just want the jersey. I don't have the official one from Nike, so I bought it. But then I feel the pain from Sam and all the other fans that would like to have the Champions League badge, because I'm not going to have it. It's because it wasn't available. Why is it not available? Since we qualify for the Champions League since before summer.
Yeah.
Right? It bothers me. They could have bought a ton of it and have it available online.
And it's like they opened up, there's a new, physical pavilion to buy stores, like on the side of Alvalade near the ticket stand, There's a new Loja Verde. There's one in the Baixa. Now there's one in Colombo. It's like, what are you going to put in these stores if you don't have fucking product,
No, but that's the thing. The kicker is Lauren just mentioned something. She mentioned that the badges are available, and she's in Portugal, so I believe her at 100%. She said the badges are available in the Loja Verde. But why? Why is it available in the Loja Verde, but it's not available online? So someone is fucking up. I think someone doesn't know how to create.
Or they just don't care. Or even worse, they just don't care.
I was thinking maybe they have like a different shipping place. Like all the stuff they have ready to ship is just the badge. Like they've already got like a whole order of them ready to send out.
But okay, but don't say Sporting Portugal é o clube do mundo inteiro. Then we're not. When you only focus on Portugal and the fans in Portugal,
Not even like all of Portugal, just like the greater Lisbon area.
Yeah, Lisbon. Let's say it the way it is. And then you basically saying to everybody else a big fuck you. We don't care, because that's what it seems like.
No modalities has never been made available. There was talk that it was going to be like it have its own modality store, right?
They could do it together. I mean, the new Loja Verde is beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take it together, but they don't have anything. Nothing.
They have the bare minimum. Maybe that's because Nike didn't produce enough yet. I don't know.
And to be fair, we didn't get modality stuff from Macron until like probably like the 3rd or 4th year of the contract. But like,
I think it might be a Nike thing.
Yeah.
But another thing that caught my attention, to wrap it up, it's there's great promotions for the Portuguese. So if you buy over 50 euros, it's free shipping all over Portugal.
Yeah.
But there's no promotion for us.
Or even the discounted rate,
Yeah, the fuck. I mean, you could have a promotion saying, hey, if you buy more than 100 euros worth of merchandise, shipping to the United States and the UK and France, it'll be for free. I mean, people will buy it over 100 euros.
Or do like a promotion where like everything in these 2 weeks is free shipping. So get in on it the next 2 weeks. Like, do anything. Like,
but they don't do anything, and to me, it's turning me off quickly.
Yeah, it is, because it's like they're talking about both sides of their mouth. We've rebuilt Sporting, Novo Sporting. We've rebuilt it. Like, all this great stuff. We won the title. We're this multinational brand now. We have great media department. Like, you can't be saying that while also just be so incompetent, like with regards to anything,
Yeah, you can be focusing just on the Sportingistas from Lisbon. That's not fair. There's a lot of Sportingistas in the north, in the UK, the US, and Canada, like Denny and like you, like Sam and myself, and millions and thousands, and we always get the short stick. It's like
never. I mean, and here's another anecdotal example. Like, for the American fans, like, even like there's a couple physical stores, like in Newark, for example, there's a soccer store. Benfica Porto jerseys. There hasn't even been a Sporting Nike product that has entered the facility. I asked the manager, like, when are you guys getting the new Nike stuff? I don't know. Never, maybe, like.
You're talking about the one on Ferry Street?
Yeah. They've never had any of the Sporting stuff because it's just not even been available for them to purchase,
What's the name of the store?
Pegasus Sporting Goods.
Pegasus.
Yeah.
I used to buy from them, but I'd rather buy it online.
Yeah. I mean, they don't even have anything for you to buy right now, so there's nothing to go there for.
I mean, I bought what I needed, but then I had to ship it to my father. He lives in Portugal, and I have to wait until he comes to America.
Yeah, I see.
Because I'm not going to pay for fucking shipping 40 years. I'm just not going to pay for it. Yeah. I'm not that rich. I make okay money, but I'm not a millionaire.
And what Dulion is the point that he's making here, would be nice to have an international sausage program or just discounts for fans outside of Portugal, like anything. The reason that we're not is because what that involves is like greater sausage outreach, like greater programs for sausages, like greater like involvement with the international nucleus. And this administration is actively at war against all three of those things. So they're never going to improve our access to stuff if they're like trying to like dissuade us from like doing anything, like it doesn't line up with their agenda. Bruno Carvalho, we had all his faults, but like he actually did make a case to like try to improve the nucleus, the international nucleus. Like now, Lar dos Leões, for example, like they haven't had contact with anyone Sporting in 4 years now since he's been the president, because that's not part of his program. If anything, is the opposite of his program.
It's an embarrassment, to tell the truth, because why should I be associated Sporting if I don't get any benefits? Like, it's a provocation. My birthday was on the 30th of August. So Sporting sends me an email saying, hey, you have up to 10% discount na Loja Verde. I'm like, what the fuck?
You couldn't use it online.
No. So I'm like, I don't.
It's like you're just pissing on me. You're pissing on me.
What are you teasing me?
Don't send me an email, you fucking bastards.
Yeah, I was like, what a jerk off. I mean, they know I live in the U.S. because that's what it states.
Yeah.
On my personal info. So instead of putting 2 and 2 together, they should have said, "Hey, for those living outside of Portugal, we're gonna give them online 10% discount."
And to be fair, that's now the second or third year in a row that that's happened. So they just don't care to fix it. So yeah, they just
I mean, and I was like reading the email in Portuguese and all excited, hey, 10% discount. Na loja verde. It was like, toma. And I'm going to fly to Lisbon purposely just to buy.
Yeah, they get a 10% discount.
And 10% discount. I have to pay for my flight ticket and all that. É só pessoas espertas in Portugal. Oh my God. They lose a lot of money. They don't know how to make money in Portugal.
Yeah.
You know, and I've had this conversation with Bruno Freire, Portista, and you know, if they only open their eyes and realize how much money they could make, like, why don't you use Amazon as a platform? Are you so greedy that you want to keep all the money for yourself? But Amazon is such a big platform that you would be making so much money worldwide. Like the Essa Camisola, this one.
Yeah, it was the #1 seller for 2 days on all of Amazon. You know?
I don't know why they so blinded, like with having their own loja verde. It's very typical of Portugal, like the naming of the stadium. It's not a Sporting thing; it's a Portuguese thing.
They only want to do stuff that like benefits like useful, like we have a connection with this company. Like, oh, this company wants to down the line invest in us.
I know.
My brother-in-law owns this company. Like, they don't want to do anything with Amazon because they can't like do anything with that.
Yes, I get it, but it's not that only, Chris. Like, I don't know if you pay attention on Twitter, and I only use Twitter. I don't have Facebook, but like every time they mention Sporting is going to give this the naming to a company, a lot of Sportingistas don't like it. But the same thing with Benfiquistas, the same thing with Portistas. It's a very Portuguese thing that, não, tem que ser do Estado de Alvalade, está assim há muitos anos. But they don't think outside the box that we have to make money because our club is not making enough money, you know? So I don't give a fuck if Estado de Alvalade is called Super Box Stadium if they're willing to pay 20 million a year. So what? They pay for 20 million a year to have their name Super Box. Like, how do we call the Eagle Stadium?
Lincoln Financial Field, yeah.
Yeah, the financial field. So what's the big deal? But it's a Portuguese thing. It's not really a Sporting thing. I think if it was up to Sporting, they would have done it, but they would get a lot of negative feedback.
Believe it or not, like I wouldn't even. It's just whatever, you know.
Like a Pavilion João Rocha, why can't he be named MetLife if they're willing to pay 10 million? What's the big deal? You know, but you talk to a Sportingista from Portugal, estás parvo, isto nunca pode acontecer, pá, tem que ser o Pavilhão João Rocha. And I'll never get that. It's like we need to make money, our club.
I mean, the gates are already like gate 1, Super Bock, gate 2, you know, TMN, you know, like all the gates have names, like all the areas of the stadium have sponsors. Like, it's literally the only thing that doesn't. It's just the main name. So,
but in the meantime, we give one of our fields the name do Futre.
True. That's far more egregious than giving it to someone who's.
Holy shit! I mean, this guy is what is he? Sportingista, Benfiquista, or Portista? It's whoever pays him the most. So, I never like Futre, and I'll never like him.
No, it's a bad look to be involved with that guy at this point.
And we gave him a stadium after him, a field after him.
I will say, just one of my friends who was a Benfica fan got a Benfica jersey ordered, and he ordered the Champions League patches, and they gave him a Europa League one instead.
That's
which
hilarious.
They didn't have in stock. And then they let him keep the Europa League one, and then also sent him out a Champions League badge.
Sporting wow, that's crazy.
See, look at Philippe Paris changing the name, the stadium name. Never.
It might not ever happen. I mean,
but I don't get it. Why not? What's the big deal about the name of the goddamn stadium?
They probably said the same thing on the first season. They put a sponsor on the shirt too, right?
Because
painting the shirt with a sponsor, never. It was probably the same thing.
Let's be realistic. let's say they change the name of the stadium to Superboc, and Superboc pay 10 million a year or more. People were still gonna call it Stad Zalvala.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Still call it Stad Zalvala. It's just to make money.
The only people that won't will be like the stadium or the Sport TV commentators, because they'll have a contractual obligation to call it that,
Yeah, because o Estádio do Braga, they call it
Stadio AXA, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Or at least that was what it was called. I don't know.
That's what it was called,
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think it just depends on the name, though, because I think it's the Denver Nuggets playing like the Dunkin' Donuts Arena.
Yeah.
I would hate for like the Dunkin' Donuts
Pizza Hut Arena.
Yeah, like we sponsored by Burger King, the Burger King Arena, some shit like that.
Hey, but Burger King in Portugal is pretty good.
It's better than in the States. In the States, it sucks.
They serve red wine. They serve beer. I mean, hey.
Yeah. I mean, just to move on the next topic, we've got Steph. Are you right to take over modalities, or Chris, do you want to do it? It's up to you.
Steph, you got the modalities? Because I know some of them have started now more officially, right? Or is it still preseason tournaments?
Yeah. I know most. I know most of them by heart. So the volleyball. We'll start with volleyball. They play for the Strom Trophy against Sporting the Caldas da Rainha. We won 3-0, so we kept the trophy at home. Our ladies, the same thing. They played at home, the same trophy, and they won also 3-0. So kudos to them. Even though it's a cup that's made by Sporting, and we always pick teams that we know we're going to beat to keep the cup at home. So to me, it's not really a big win. I would respect more that competition, or I respect the cup, but not the, and I respect the opponents as well. But we could pick a more challenging team to see, where we stand, even if it has to be from our neighbor Spain or something like that. But picking teams that we know we're going to beat, it doesn't turn me on at all. Like today, we won in basketball, 73-71 against Lusitania. We barely won. Same trophy. We kept it at home as well. I think we kept all the trophies at home of Strump. Handball, the same thing against Bulnens. We won, and we kept the trophy at home. So in Inicias, we won 9-0. Hey, what's up, Denny? How you doing, my man?
He had an important update for you, Steph. There you go.
enjoy Portugal. Have fun.
Yeah, the Burger King in Portugal. Man.
Yeah, Burger King Portugal.
Better than in the States. Better than the States. And Canada too, I'm guessing.
Yeah. The biggest win was Iniciados. They won 9-0. The under 19 we tied 2-2. If I'm not mistaken, yes, 2-2. The under 23 we lost against the champions in title, Estoril, 1-0. But you could see the maturity of Estoril. They feel they have a better, more mature team, and that's why we lost. They scored early, 1-0, and they were able to keep that score. The one thing I liked was the referee. The referee, I didn't even notice him. He was a really good referee. I forget his name though. And then the biggest competition we had this weekend was Okimpati. He won 3-1. The Continental Cup. So that's a big trophy, and that's the number 10th international trophy for the bowling hockey team. So kudos to them. And this made it a trophy number, the 40th international-wise for the whole club. So now we have 40 international cups in our history. So it's a big deal.
Aren't they playing in another one this weekend, Steph?
This week they should be playing the Super Cup.
Oh, okay.
Super Taça de Portugal. So that's also, we haven't won the Super Cup in a minute, so it would be good to win it. Futsal, our B team, let's call it this way, because we have, if I'm not mistaken, 7 of our players playing for the national team, which they tied against Morocco 3-3 this Sunday, it didn't make any difference tying against them because we finished first place. So now we'll play a third place team on Friday. We should know by now. But Friday we're going to play the national team against a team that we should beat easily and move on to the quarterfinals. But our futsal team has been playing some local tournaments and they've been spanking everybody, even with the junior players. So that's a good feeling. We have some up and coming, really good players in our futsal. Handball, we won against Sequin Ball, 45-26. We spanked them pretty good. And then I think tomorrow we'll play in the international level, the first for the group stage of the EAGF Liga Cup. So we need to win those games to move on to the group stage, and that's all. I mean, our ladies, the national team, they beat Israel 4-0. So we in first place after tying in against Turkey 1-1. So we are in first place of that group. But now here comes the tough games against Germany. So that's a very competitive team. They won nothing against their last opponent. And that's all I have from Modalidades.
Cool. Thank you for that, Steph, as always. Let me just go on to our next game. We play Marítimo at finally a reasonable time at 7 p.m. Portuguese time. Marítimo currently sit 11th with 6 points.
Annoying ass time for the States because it's still like I'm just gonna have to cut out of work at 2 o'clock. Basically, is what that means. Instead of like 4, which is like less egregious than cutting out at 2.
Yeah, fair enough. But like, I mean, the last 2 Liga Win games have been 9 p.m. kickoff, and staying up to like 11 o'clock is just like not good for me, especially when I got like work at 7 in the morning. But yeah, Steph, what were your predictions on this game? Do you think we're going to struggle, or do you think should be an easy win?
We're playing against Marítimo at home, right? On Friday, 2 p.m.
Yeah,
and Marítimo has been regaining their composure, but we should definitely. I think having Coates back is it's a blessing from the skies. I just hope Sporting buys another top performer center back before he retires. But I would say I'm going to say 3-0 Sporting. And I'm going to say Paulinho again because I wanted to score so badly. Even though most likely he won't score, but I'm going to say Paulinho with a hat-trick.
Damn, definitely from left field. Chris, what do you think of your prediction? What do you think of the predictions? What do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, Marítimo is playing a little bit better now, and we don't have to go to the, I guess, Nacional Stadium, right? Because that's where they've been playing. So yeah, it's easier than that whole trip, which is already one of the more complicated trips without it being.
We're playing at home.
Yeah, we're playing at home. So like, I'm just saying the Marítimo trip is not easy even without like the worst field ever. But yes, but at the same time, we also have like the worst field ever. So we'll see how that holds up after yet another game. Yeah, but I still like us to get a result, 2-0. And for goal scorers, I will go Paulinho and Paulinho.
The banger, is this it?
Yeah, this is it.
Okay. If you get that, I'll give you like 3 extra points, just because. I'm going to go 2-0, and I think Sarabia is going to get on the score sheet. I think he's due a goal, and I think he's going to be like a screamer. And I think I'll go with Coates from a header because, I mean, that just usually happens quite a lot. But yeah, I'll update the league table. I keep forgetting, so I do apologize. I'll tweet that out probably tomorrow when that's all updated, and we'll just see the revised standings. No one got points to the Ajax game, surprisingly. No one guessed 5-1, or no one guessed Paulinho's goal scorer either, I don't think. But yeah, I'll update those and get that tweeted out. And I don't think there's anything left to say. Do you guys have any final thoughts before we go off?
I just hope that we win against Marítimo, and then I have a question for you guys.
Okay.
It's really a simple one. And how do you think we should play in Germany for the second game of the UEFA Cup? would you maintain the 3-4-3, or you would change it to a 4-4-2 or 4-5-1?
It depends if we have Anasio, right? Because we can't go to Germany with Mateus Reis or Neto starting. I don't think, and not get physically assaulted by Haaland, who scores like 2 goals a game.
I mean, I think we should keep the same formation, but just like in terms of tactically, just park the bus.
Yeah, because I actually like us like attacking going forward against Dortmund, because they do seem like they do concede goals at the back. But if we're so vulnerable, like we're not. If it's a 7-goal game, we're not going to win. I don't think.
Yeah,
we'll lose 4-3 or something, 4-2. Like if it gets crazy like that, I don't like our odds. But I also don't like our odds playing with 3 at the back and Mateus Reis and Luis Neto. So I think it totally depends on what our personnel is looking like health-wise in like a week and a half's time.
I have to be completely honest. The 5-1 against the Ajax at home completely killed me. I don't like losing, but losing 5-1 at home, it was hard to swallow, you know. So, and then I don't want to go to Germany and get spanked. And there we go again, Benfiquistas and Portistas making fun of us. And I understand, because we do the same thing. So I get it. I think it's that's the way it should be. I don't condemn them for making fun of us, because we do the same thing. But I just hope we don't get spanked to Germany. And me, I would prefer to play in a 4-4-2. This is just me. I would be more conservative.
Yeah, fair enough. And I'm not sure if anyone else in the streaming was at our sort of Twitter live thing that we did, but it was actually, considering we lost, it was actually good time. Steph got his feelings off his chest. We spoke to Nuno, and Zach Lowy was in there as well. I mean, it was good fun considering what the score was. But I think
the only good part of like that 2.5 hour stretch.
Yeah, I mean,
between like 3 and 6 p.m. Eastern time.
I know.
We should definitely get on that more often, because that was actually a great fun. And if, like, say we don't have time to do a podcast during the week, we can just all hop on Twitter Spaces and just share our feelings. It was good fun. Steph, you were brilliant in it, I will say. Even though it came at a loss.
I was a little bit buzzed, and then when I'm buzzed, it started flowing, you know, and I'll just say whatever I'm saying. I was pissed. I was really pissed. I mean, getting spanked like that at home, and that's what bothers me the most. Away, it's pretty bad, but at home, I mean, who got a meme after them? What's his name?
Oh, Kevin.
Kevin.
Yeah, Kevin Frujo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boy, Kevin. I mean, I would have been the same way with that face, you know.
Hey, he looks good in his Escudo Champions League kit, brand new. It looks great.
With the mask on his chin.
I mean, he's taken it in stride, to be fair. It's got it as his profile picture. So, I mean, he obviously
he's owned it well. He's owned it well.
Yeah, Kevin is a cool kid. But, you know, look at Danny. He flew all the way from Canada to watch his first Champions League game at Alvalade. And we got spanked 5-1. It's a memory he wants to forget now.
Yeah, definitely a memorable trip, but probably for the wrong reasons. But, I mean, it all looked like having fun. You know, we saw Lauren and Danny together, and Kevin.
Oh, nice! They got together.
Yeah, and do you remember Aaron Barton from Proxima Jornada and Irish Sam? They all met, and I mean, it sounded like a good time.
Oh, that's pretty cool stuff. Boy, that's cool.
We definitely need to get him in Portugal, maybe this summer, or if we can sooner.
Yeah, I'm trying next year, because I'm going to turn 50. And the goal is to celebrate my 50th anniversary birthday in Portugal. And, of course, I'm going to have to watch a couple games as well.
Yeah, we'll definitely try to get out there. But
I'll take the train.
From where? Whereabouts would you take the train?
Just like Denny
from New York.
the TGV.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably get the train as well from probably Viseu or somewhere.
I know you guys now had the underwater tunnel from the UK to France, and then straight to Portugal.
Yeah, I don't like it though, because the journey is like 26 hours altogether. So like obviously the train and then the drive through France and Spain. Yeah, I think it was a 26-hour drive.
Yeah,
Depends on the company then, huh?
Yeah.
What's the fastest you've made it, Steph? You get it in 18?
Yeah. Have you done it before? Yeah, same.
So we did it once, and because it took so long, that was when I was like 12. So it was like with my parents. Because it took so long, we decided to get a ferry from Portsmouth in south of England to Santander in Spain, and then it was like a 24-hour boat journey, but it was like just nice to relax, didn't have to do anything, and then a 5-hour drive from Santander to Viseu. So, I mean, definitely better, but like, I mean, I just hate being in the car for that long. Like, I'm 6'2". I don't fit in like most cars properly, and most are just very uncomfortable. But I mean, I'd probably get a plane, to be honest. I'm all right. I'm all right for that, to be fair. But yeah, any final thoughts before we wrap things up?
I think I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good.
Cool. Just shout out, by the way, to our SoundCloud listeners. We found out the other day, in a week, we had 579 plays, which, I mean, it wasn't on just the current episodes. It was from episodes from the Belenenses game and, you know, some other games we had in the past, Bruno Carvalho podcast, etc. So we're getting a lot of views. Thank you, everyone. Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube, Sporting160_EN. Follow us on Twitter. Follow Steph and Chris and even Danny and some of the people that are in this chat on Twitter. Thank you all for joining us, and we shall see you next time. Peace.